Well, it wouldn't be D5, would it, if we didn't have a stream crash at some point? Thank you, Codemasters. But we're back, and we're on a new stream. I can tell because I've just got a Discord notification popping up saying that we're live. So, well, obviously no one's watching at this point, but, if you do feel the need to, rewind the stream back to the start, hello and good evening. Welcome once again. We had an interesting qualifying session. Which we may as well retitle that stream as D5 qualifying. We'll retitle this one D5 race. But I'm joined by QVR Packet, as I was 2 minutes ago. And we're getting
Hello, everybody.
Yes, hello. We're going to get ready for a race. We've got Ben Scott on pole position in the Alpine. And we're just watching D2 at the moment while we wait for the lobby to get set up, everyone to get back in. It wouldn't, as I said, it wouldn't be D5 without if we had to have lobby problems, stream problems. New commentators, same problems. What has Jess said? Jess has added me in the Discord. Jess, what are you saying? Oh, she's going to show us her glitches. We look forward to that. But in the meantime, where is the D2 action? It's Gary leads, everybody. XL Gary leads the race. He's past Nathan. Brendan's down in third. DRS train is from first to ninth. Crico, as the field split, the top 9 have run away with it. But let's just have a chat, Packer. Let's pretend this is a spin-off version of the LOB podcast. How are you doing? And why?
I'm currently typing to Swift the order.
Good. I was going to say, how are you doing? And why is it that the 49ers are going to beat the Packers this evening?
Well, you see, the Packers are very true to tradition, aka losing in the NFC Championship game, so I very much expect they will make it to said championship game and lose to whoever they come across.
I hope you're wrong, because Nathan is having big problems in D2. Brendan's passed him, Gary had already passed him, Brody's now passed him in the other McLaren, and Jim's was having a look into Tozer there. Lovely stuff from those getting past. Jim pushing Nathan through Pirita almost there. I wonder if Nathan's picked up a spot of damage, although it's hard to see how you can do that. Maybe he's just lost some rhythm on those tyres. But I hope you're wrong. I have full confidence in Jimmy G and
well, I can tell you someone who doesn't is Jack Dylan Nolan.
Well, we live for the underdog. I feel like everybody will be rooting for the 49ers apart from your good self. Got 19 people back in the lobby. The 49ers just go from one of the most irrelevant states in the United States. I mean, what even is Wisconsin? What is one of those? Coleman Robson out into 6th. A couple of people in the pits. Got Timon in the pits, that's TDB. And we've got Calvin as well into the pits. So early stops for those guys. You'd expect, we didn't actually say the pit lap, did we? But those doing soft medium, pit lap around 7 to 10. But it's D5, so I have no idea when anyone will pit and what tyres to put on. We could see some early stops going to hards, we could see some stops around then or later going to hards, stops around then or later going to mediums. We don't know. I think we could see a couple go soft, medium, soft. That's what a lot of people did last week. At COTA, and I think they could do it again. You see, I'm very good. This is where I'm naturally gifted. I'm good at rambling and filling the void. If only
I'm
for
not
the
very
reason
good
that
at that.
I love the sound of my own voice. You may be able to tell. Packer, Indiras, what's going on with you? How is fixing cars? Whatever it is you do.
Well, I've just watched a certain Irishman and a certain fake Nathan come into the pit lane, as well as June pick up a time penalty on the exit of the penultimate corner, which is quite the spot, as well as Carmentos up to third, which is intriguing. But yes, fixed car is all right. It's not bad.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that's going well for you and you're enjoying your praise. It's weird to think, isn't it, that we've got a net Irish 1-2. Actually, no, we don't have a net Irish 1-2 because Gary's in a net third. What happened to Gary? I didn't realise my stream was behind, and I skipped ahead, and now Gary's behind. Really, he's behind Brendan. What's happened there?
I'm I'm not entirely sure. I know Gary in the past has had pitbox issues, but I thought Red Bull would be quite immune to that. But I guess the days of Season 5 and Gary and a McLaren are coming back.
I mean, if you had to pick a top four of this division, you wouldn't necessarily say Rudy, Gary, and Nathan would be there, would you? As Colin Robb comes into the pits now, it's an odd trifecta of fellows, shall we say, up at the front.
Imola gives us quite a few surprises, let's just say.
Indeed, it does. And I can only apologise, the two of you watching the stream, because what are we? We're now 10-9, and well, oh, sorry, here goes TDB on Nathan. DRS wide open down the main straight, past the Made in Italy sign. We've got a yellow flag as well somewhere. Someone's had an off at Variante Alta. That is a Williams. That Slash has had a moment there. He's on the hard tyres. We've got a few little trains going now that pit stops are happening. The field has started to fragment. We've got the top three running line astern. Then we've got a gap back to TDB, who's dragging Nathan and Boompia and Cohen Robb along with him. Cohen Robb with a penalty, of course. And then Calvin further back, 6 seconds adrift. Funky Chicken, who had something of a calamity at the very start of the race. He's in P17, and then AJ Wuhan and Slash. I think we're close to getting going again. People are readying up, but I don't know if we've got the order for quali correct. I should hope so, because if not, we're in a bit of a pickle if we start the lobby at this point, because Swip hasn't readied up yet. Jooms into the pits in D2, and now Carmentelis leads the Grand Prix despite starting 13th. How characteristic of him.
He's indeed made up a few positions, has the Alpine driver, 5th in the championship last season, known as quite the alt-strat merchant, besides, well, this track last season where he won from pole position at Mine and Nuth's. Well, we didn't exactly have a fun time of it, did we? Or I didn't, at least.
I had the loneliest race in the history. Oh, a penalty for Carmentelis, we talked that one up. I had the loneliest of lonely races. I was in P4. I was somewhere about 15 seconds off you guys, and I was about 7 or 8 seconds ahead of Maledictus in P5. And let's have a look now. Rudy's got a run on Nolan up the hill towards Peritella. This is not an overtaking place. Very short braking zone, only a gear or two. But Rudy made that work, and Nolan loses a place. He's down to P9, and Gary's going to be next. Is Gary having a look into that ride? That would be very ill-advised. He's going to have to try and get a run towards Ravazza. Dylan pulled off a cracking last lap overtaking to Ravazza in Division 1. And in fact, Nolan's let Gary go, or has made a mistake, because Gary's now through Variante Alta, and is going to have a run on Rudy down towards Ravazza and up into Turn 1. And in fact, that's handed the initiative to Forza Brennan, who's managed to get away by 1.6 seconds. He's broken DRS, but we're back in. So we're going to turn off the D2 stream, and we're going to get focused on these D5 guys and gals and see what's what. 8 minutes into the stream, some 9-10 minutes after we crashed, we're going to get back going, and hopefully Jess is able to get away for the formation up this time, and there is no harm done. Remember, as we said, each driver will have to start on the same tyres they selected at the initial start, otherwise they will be disqualified. Jav was on mediums. Actually, that was on hards. We had a couple of other medium runners. Everyone else was on softs. Can you remind us, Packer, who was on mediums?
All I remember is Jav and the bottom four were all on mediums, and then Alex
was on
taking
hards.
their own path and going on the hard cop out of tires, which we both somehow found our way onto in Division 1. Not entirely sure how, but
they were a nice
happened.
Tire. They were
not
a nice
bad.
tire. Let's have a look.
But yes, let us indeed have a look.
It's all correct. No disqualifications needed.
Absolutely fantastic. No extra work for any of the organizers. So we can now get this race somewhat underway. Formation lap here in Imola. We're just heading through the Villeneuve chicane, well, just about, with Ben Scott. So I guess we could take a quick rerun through the order to familiarize everybody who is watching. So we have Ben Scott, who qualified on pole position, a good few tenths ahead of Energetics. The Dutchman in the Red Bull on the front row would be quite realistic if he was only one place further back. But on the second row, we have Akon Corrupt, followed by Riordan and Harry F, and then Slumpcon, Marcy, Axel, Swip, and Ghost Recon, the top 10. Everybody getting fresh tires, remember now, because of this lobby restart, so no penalties really for anyone who starts inside the top 10. But now we move to everybody outside of the top 10. Jav and P11 on the mediums, Jamie and Ricky on the softs on rows 6 and 7, and then Alex Lilliart doing some art with her Haas and her hard tire, or their Haas and their hard tires. And then Ibo on the softs, and then Bellin, Emperor, Joseph, and Jess all on the mediums.
I'm going to turn it back around to you. I said Ben Scott for the win, just about, or I was about to, I didn't. What are you going to say, Packer? Your prediction this time?
Well, I don't know. Let's go with, I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to say Ben as well. And then let us go with, there's no one really on the alt strat. Let's go with Harry to be second, so Alpine 1-2, and then SlumpCon for third.
Interesting prediction. We'll see. In 32 laps it will come true. Hopefully no more problems beset the lobby. We've got Ben Scott will be on the left-hand side of your screen. If I can get a nice front view. There we go. Ben Scott on the right-hand side of your screen, scoring Energetics on the left. Ben Scott pointing straight at the grass as it's lights out and away we go. And we're underway for round 7. Good start from Ben. He's streaked away from Energetics down towards turn 1. They're all squabbling in the midfield. A couple of slow starters at the back. And how many wide are we going to go into Tamburello? Elcon trying to have a look at Energetics, but it's Ben Scott who streaks away from Energetics. Ocon, Reardon, Harry, Slumpcon, Axel, and Harry's trying to have a look at the Ferrari into the Villeneuve chicane. He's out the inside, but he's just cut off. Nicely held by Reardon, and we got a Haas in the gravel there, and we've got Ocon Corrupt and Energetics side by side through Tozer, bumping not once, not twice, and Ocon Corrupt is spun round, and that has given Energetics a huge lead already. 1.6 seconds at the end of the first sector as we got towards the hill, towards Piratella. Ben Scott leads now by 1.8 from Energetics and Reardon.
Yeah, Ben Scott with the perfect start there to his race. Obviously, only lap 1 of 32. Still, a lot of things can happen here in this league race. But Ben Scott getting it off to quite the start indeed for the Alpine driver. We have a swap in position between Emperor and Sir Ibo. Ibo taking the cautious line in, having a little bit of a spin there at Varianta Alta. That's very unfortunate for him. Jess up to P17 after with the 2 spinners, and Ibo and Akon Corrupt not getting any places through on track overtakes quite yet. Ricky in 16th, just in behind Bell and Emperor Rub, and Alex on the hards, not doing too bad on those hard tires so far. I believe has only lost 1 or 2 positions, maybe not even any. Joseph on the back of Jamie as we get back up to the train in the midfield, Jav is up 2 places. Harry and Riordan swapping positions there. Harry making a daring move up towards the Villeneuve chicane, but has it done before we got into turn 5 there.
And Connor's up the inside of Reardon as well into Tozer, but Reardon had the outside line. He could just get the power on a little bit earlier and hangs on to that one. No real big gainers on the first lap. Up 6 for Joseph. Alex Lillian on the hards is up 1. Jav's getting a couple on the mediums as well. Rickia and Bellon are trading places at the back. Let's get telemetry and lap data on. Now we're through the first lap. But yeah, no real big gainers. Ocon Corrupt is the big loser. He's already come into the pits. But, well, I suppose you could say the big winner, really, isn't he? Is Ben Scott. He's 2.2 now, really stretching his legs out front. We've got some dramas going on at the back. Rick here and Bell on a side-by-side into the Variante. Bell slips through. Bit of a nightmare. Bit of a nightmare first lap for Rick here. And yes, you're right, Marcy and Ghost Recon are having a little go through the first lap. Bit of a squirm on Axel out of the last corner. This is going to give Marcy a big run on the Williams down towards turn 1. The track's going to kink right twice and then to the left as we come towards Tamburello. DRS enabled at the end of this lap, so nothing in use for Marcy now. It's all on his DRS. He's already down to 20% into turn 1. How brake is he going to like? How aggressive is he going to be? And in fact, Axel had to get across the curbs there, and he's taking Ghost Recon out in the process. Marcy sent it reasonably enough. I think Axel hung it out, went straight over the curb of 2. Car bottomed out. We had no turning in the car at all. And then when it came to 3, he had nothing really to help him out, and Ghost Recon was just taken along for the ride into the gravel on the exit of turn 3. We'll see what the stewards make of that one. A bit of a bizarre decision. Reardon having a moment almost out of Aqua Minerale. Now 2.3 for Ben Scott. It's Reardon and Slumpcon. It's the closest battle on track right now. Jav and Swip, the two Aston Martins, in very close company. Ocon Corrupt gets our first penalty at the back of the field. But the field's already quite spread out, isn't it, Packer?
Yeah, quite a few large gaps here. Obviously, the big one and the one that everyone will be talking about. Obviously, 2.2 seconds up at the front for Ben Scott after Ocon Corrupt had that slight incident on the first lap with Energetics. Energetics still in his starting position in P2 as Connor Riordan swap positions with the DRS goes past. Does Connor in the Haas past the Ferrari, his engine supplier, if you will, and Riordan, as well as Joseph and Jamie swapping positions. The Ferrari making it a little bit more difficult in his attempt to overtake Jamie. Emperor Rub and Alex Lilly are going side by side. Quite clumsy there from Emperor Rub. He's able to get the position though and up into P11. Alex Lillard will go down to P12. Those hard tires not exactly doing any favors for them. Alex into the pits as well as his Williams teammate Enrique. Alex getting a front wing change. Enrique going on for a set of hards. That's an interesting decision, but Ghost Recon will get the upper hand in his battle with Axel and will be out in front in the pit lane in front of him.
It looked like that move into turn 1, it looked like Emperor had the move done, didn't realise, he didn't clock how far ahead he was, overshot the corner, and then would have got a warning into turn 2 for his troubles when he didn't really need to lunge it like he did. He was fine just to take the normal line because Alex was on the inside, would have had a tight line, wouldn't have been able to brake as late as Emperor could anyway. So 2.4 now for Ben Scott ahead of Energetics at the end of lap 4, start of lap 5, and he seems quite comfortable, doesn't he? I'm sure we'll see a lot of penalties come in that could change things. We could see some crashes, could see some safety cars, but as of now, Ben Scott looks like he's just checked out a little bit and he's just covering Energetics off nicely. Energetics has a very wide line through Villeneuve through turn 4. That loses him a tenth or two, but everyone apart from Reardon from in the top 9 is outside of DRS. So Reardon and Slumpcon is a really close battle track right now. Jamie and Jav, and we've got a Williams round the back. That is going to be Rick here, who's spun Aqua Minerale on his hard tyres. Not a nice lap, and he's about to get lapped, actually, because Ben Scott is coming just up behind him, and we'll see some blue flags being waved very soon for the Williams driver.
Yeah, Riordan there with a little bit of a slide heading through Aqua Minerale, maybe just a little bit too much inside curb for that Ferrari suspension to handle, but is able to get through. Variante Alta as Joseph has had a little bit of an off at Aqua Minerale. Is that going to be a full safety car, or is that going to be a VSC?
It's a full safety car.
And I would imagine Ben Scott heads into the pit lane here for a set of medium tires because they should be able to get it to the end, especially with the safety car period. Maybe not. Ben Scott
out.
Energetics will be in. Yeah, the two Alpines will have to double stack. Marcy, who I was going to say was on 0% ERS for about half the straight last lap, has now found himself on 17 with the safety car period and will assume the lead of the race. Jav, obviously, on the alternative strategy, will come out in second in all of this. Jamie stay out on the softs, which is an interesting decision. Emperor Rub will stay out as well on their mediums. Ben Scott is going to get out just around Bellin. He's going to be out in front of the Alfa Romeo driver, which will make his day a little bit easier in the long run. Energetics will come out just 2 positions behind Ben Scott, obviously. The Alfa Romeo of Bellin splitting the 2 drivers. Harry F has gone onto a set of hard tires, interestingly enough, and Ben Scott has gone onto a set of soft tires for a soft strategy. So the 2 Alpines splitting, but not exactly in the correct manner, I would assume.
Well, anyone who's gone on mediums at this point, I wouldn't necessarily, based on how last week went, I wouldn't assume they're committing to a one-stop where they're going to the end. As Emperor there ran completely wide at Piratel and safety car, probably got a warning for that. I wouldn't assume, and Alex has picked up a penalty under safety car. A unique achievement. But I wouldn't assume that anyone who's gone mediums is definitely going to the end. The fact that Harry's put hards on shows he is committed to trying to get to the end of this race on the one stop. Ben Scott has absolutely committed to the 2 stop. And unless there's another safety car, let's assume there isn't. Let's play a game. Assume there isn't another safety car. Ben Scott needs to find the odd 26 seconds on his teammate between these set of softs and then whatever the mediums he puts on at the end of the race over his teammate to make this work. Do you think Ben? I mean, he was comfortable before safety car, but do you think he was quick enough that he's going to be able to find 26 seconds to get this one, Harry?
He wasn't necessarily pulling up at the front. He got that gap. He pulled a few tenths of a second, but that could have been in just a lack of mistakes for Ben Scott up at the front, being that comfortable, having that gap, and Emperor or Energetics making mistakes, being under pressure from a certain Harry F. So I think he might just have the pace, but he does have this traffic in front of him, which is really going to snuff out his soft stint, if you will.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if it takes him a few laps to get through the soft runners, the non-pitters, if Jamie and Marcy being on soft go long as they possibly can. I think Ben Scott is in a bit of a pickle here. He's going to have to hope that Energetics, Slumpcon, Reardon, Swip, etc. are going for 2 stops. So if they realise they can get to the end of the race on the mediums, Ben Scott is the only man who's boxed himself into a 2-stop. So he could be in a bit of trouble, not just from his teammate, but from multiple drivers. If they look at their tyre wear and see, hang on, I can get to the end of this race on just one more set of tyres. So it's going to be interesting. There's 2 factors, as far as I can see, assuming there's no more safety cars. It's how quickly Ben Scott gets through the 4 guys ahead of him, and it's also the strategy of those opponents. They pivot and realise they can get to the end on the mediums. Ben Scott's going to have to he's going to have to he's made this race hard for himself. He can still win it, even without a safety car, when he pits again. But he's made it very, very hard for himself. Safety car is in this lap. It's going to be Marcy, our winner last week, who is going to lead them away down the main straight. We're on lap 7 here, about to start lap 8. We're about to get under green flag conditions again, and we've got 4 drivers who haven't pitted ahead of everybody else who has. This is really what Ocon Corrupt and like back into play, who seemed out of it at the start of the race. And Marcy weaving like crazy. Jav is just sticking alongside him. This is ill-advised from Jav, because you can get a 5-second penalty so easily. And Marcy's gone actually, and he's still managed to get the jump on Jav. Jav will jump into a slipstream. ERS in effect for everybody here. We're on the run down to turn 1. Jav's going to get slipstream, but not enough. He's not got enough on Marcy.
Here comes Ben.
And yeah, you're right, Ben having a look at Emperor to turn 1, but not enough. And then Energetics and Harry side by side through turn 2. Slumpcon and Reard slipping through on Reardon through turn 3. Further back, there's another couple of side by sides. Ghost Recon and Alex Lilliard in towards Villeneuve chicane. Ghost Recon slips ahead there. But so there's a little bit of squabbling in the midfield here, looking for these early opportunities on the safety car that might disappear in a few corners. And further ahead, Ben Scott again having a look Emperor towards Piratella. And Ben Scott already, this is costing him time. He's already 4 seconds off the lead in effect. And he's having to back off there because Emperor really slowed downhill. And Ben Scott had to get completely out of the throttle. He's got a good exit though, and the other side by side through Variante Alta. This is going to be a bold overtake if Ben Scott can pull it off. He's going to have to commit hard and deep, and he's always round. Didn't need to take the move that early, son. You could have waited, and if Ben Scott was in a pickle, he's now stuck in the pickle jar. It's screwed on nice and tight. I don't think he's getting out of that one. And it's going to be Harry F. is now, Energetics is now our net leader. As Harry F's looking at Bellon, and that made a mistake on coming out through that's 1. And that's put Slumpcon right on him, and we've got a crasher at the back. And that's Ocon Corrupt.
Ooh, that's Ocon Corrupt. Not entirely expected, but I'm sure we might have been able to predict I might have been able to predict that one after watching qualifying being a little bit questionable, but we aren't throwing any shade here quite yet. Marcy still leads from Jab from Jamie, and then Energetics. Bellin losing 3 positions on that restart to Energetics, Emperor, and Harry F. So he finds himself in P7 on that medium set of tires that he started on. VSC here in Emilia will neutralize the race for now, and we're under green flag conditions. Once again, Marcy already down to 60% ERS with Jab almost in tow. 1.2 seconds is the gap between the top 2. Energetics, though, looking to make a way back into this race. The net leader, as you said, and looking to take advantage of Ben Scott's mistake there. Just to comment on the incident, I think it was a little bit ambitious there from the Alpine.
Yeah, I think that's not a place where I'm taking. But Harry F is having a look. It already didn't come off the one Alpine on Alfa Romeo, but the other one's going to try it. And in fact, Slumpcon made the move on Bellon there. Beautifully done. Well executed. Alex Lilliart and Ghost Recon now going to go side by side, and they're going to plough towards the back of Reardon to the last corner. Ghost Recon can take that around the outside just about, but he runs wide and allows Alex to nip back through there. And now Reardon ahead of both of these has got a nice toe on Bellon, and it's going to be that Alfa Romeo is going to slip back again as Harry passes Emperor further ahead, and Bellon's covering. He's shaping to the right, then pulled back across the left as the track sort of swayed this way and that, and Reardon hit the back of the Alfa Romeo there. Further behind, Alex Lilliot and Ghost Recon Axel, Ben Scott all in having a bit of a mad one there, and Ghost Recon got right out of shape on the exit of turn 3. And Ben passes Axel into Villeneuve chicane, and Ben Scott, that's beautiful. That is beautiful from Ben Scott. Don't know how he managed to pull that one off. I thought that was going to be an airplane crash. Ben Scott up into 11. Recon was just a little out of shape on the way in, and Ben Scott, a man possessed after his mistake, just thought, you know what, sod that, I'm going to have a go, and he did, and he made it work.
Yeah, Ben Scott able to pick up 2 positions after his incident. I think he's just been into the back there of Alex.
He's got wing damage. He's got an end plate missing.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Ben. A mistake after trying to make an overtake. Ghost Recon trying to make the same overtake that Ben was unable to pull off earlier. Ghost Recon is able to get up into 11th, but I think Ben Scott getting a little bit taxed there by that wing damage. Not able to brake as late as he wants to. Not as able to get the turn in at the front of the car that I'm sure he would have wanted. Bellon picks up a 3-second time penalty, the highest out of everybody with a time penalty being Bellon, Alex, and Rike. Swip into the pit lane. Interesting. Or no, that's Ben. My mistake on that one. Reordered makes its way past Bellon for P8. Emperor Rub, I think, has just been overtaken by Slump and picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. Quite a bit of understeer, just to comment, in that Alfa Romeo. Rike making his way past Jess Games down the order in 14th. Alex and Bellon swapping positions at the Villeneuve chicane, and Alex, that's ambition, was able to pull it off.
Yeah, normally Martin Reynolds was ambition over adhesion, but I think that was ambition and adhesion there. Bellon nearly lost it out of Tozer. But some nice overtakes going on here after this SC period that we saw earlier on. Slumpcon is a man on the charge right now. He's past Emperor, he's past Reardon, and he's now catching up to Harry F on the hard tyre. He's in DRS range, having a good go at it, and Energetics has pulled 2 seconds on Jamie this lap. Jamie on very old softs now, very used softs, so I think Jamie, once he pits, is going to really struggle. Bellon and Ghost Recon are going side by side to Variant Alpha. You don't overtake through that chicane, but that has not deterred D5 at all today. And here's Ghost Recon now. He's going to have a second bite at it through the outside of Rivaz's one. How late is Bellon going to brake? And he's determined to hold on to his position as Bellon, despite the fact he's not pitted yet. And it's going to be really frustrating, Ghost Recon, I think. But Recon will be through very shortly with some DRS. And speaking of that, Reardon is going to pass the other Swiss man of Emperor RUB, and he's through in towards turn 1, and Ghost Recon is through, as is Axel. Bellon held on very well, but he's lost 3 places there in the space of a pit straight, and he's fighting back, and he's back ahead of Axel there. So some really good jostling going on. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's got some cracking racing all the way through. And Slumpcon, I said he was catching Harry F. He's now well onto the back of that Alpine.
Yeah, just a quick comment between the battle of Swip, Bellon, Axel, Ghost Recon. Axel and Ghost Recon made the move on Bellon, and then Ghost Recon was moving a little bit into the turn 2 braking zone. Axel tried it around the outside, got into the grass, looked a bit like George Russell, but was able to keep it under control, but then obviously lost those 2 positions to Swip and re-lost the position to Bellon going down there. So we've had a spinner, Rike, at Aqua Minerale once again. Serbo picking up a time penalty, I'm sure trying to avoid that incident in all his darndest there. Marcy up at the front, 12 laps done on those soft tires. That's about the extent of what you'll see up at the front. And also 0% ERS before that braking zone into turn 2. Jab 4.3 behind. Energetics right on his tail, though, on these fresh mediums.
Yeah, Energetics is he's managed to break away from everyone else who pitted, hasn't he? He's going to get dispatched Jab, I think, probably next lap. And Jamie is doing a solid for those in front of him because he's really holding up Harry and Slumpcon. They couldn't get past, even with DRS. Harry's got 73% of his ERS still in hand, so it's going really well for him. and he's on 12 lap softs as well. He's sort of slowly dragging himself into contention for some good points here. Fastest lap for Ben Scott, but now 8.7 off the lead is Jamie. A pit stop's about 26. So he's helping these guys out at the front, Marcy Jav, as much as he can, but he's also really handing this race to Energetics. If Energetics doesn't pit, again, he's comfortably clear of Harry on his hards by about 4 seconds now. You can see how slow Harry is, just how slow Jamie is by the fact of how close Harry and Slump are keeping to them. Penalty for Ghost Recon and Axel. But let's see if we see a change of position here, whether it's Energetics on Jav or is it going to be Jamie getting challenged by Harry and Slumpcon. Let's follow this down from Slumpcon's point of view. Harry already ahead. Jamie, is he going to defend from Slumpcon? No, he's not. In fact, Slumpcon, has he got the guts to try and pull a double overtake there? He didn't use any of his ERS. He just follows Harry through. I dare say, Packer, if he'd used some ERS there, Slumpcon might have got a double overtake done.
Yeah, it was quite close. He was quite close to the back of the Alpine in front of him, heading into that, first braking zone on the circuit, Tamburello chicane. I'm sure Slumpcon will be eyeing up his opportunities, though, on to the next lap to get Harry F into turn 2 there. I'm sure he has all the time, really, in the world. Harry F should be going to the end, we would imagine. Slumpcon, not entirely sure if he's going to the end. Still, about
18 laps.
18 laps to go. We got,
where did 26 come from, Packer?
I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, let's move past that. 26 or 18, either way. Jav has been overtaken by Energetics on on this lap just a little bit earlier on. He's going to be up to P2, net P1, as we said earlier on. Energetics. Marcy still continuing on with almost 0% ERS. Still in the lead of this race. Energetics 5.5 seconds and looking to close him down at 19.2 there from Energetics on that lap.
I just want to make a very quick comment. Jamie Pitts, as Slumpcon now does get past Harry, I want to make a very quick comment, penalty for Sweden pit lane, on Marcy. He used those tyres in quali, so they're now on their 15th lap in the race, plus an out lap, a flying lap, and an in lap in quali. So they've done 18 laps, and he is quicker than Harry F on the last lap. Slumpcon's only caught up because of the use of DRS. No ERS for Marcy at all down the main straight. Really old tyres, 18 laps on the softs. They'll be pushing 70% now. And he's quicker than these guys on the mediums. As Jav makes a mistake out of Piratelli, runs very wide, doesn't fight Slumpcon, who just nips through on the downhill section. And in fact, Jav was so slow that Harry F nearly hit the back of him into Minerali, had to get out of it, and then did hit him right on the apex. So hopefully there's no damage there for Harry F. None visible anyway, so fingers crossed for him. Jav's had enough of those tyres. I think he's really, really struggling this lap. Or he's had some kind of drama and he's picked up damage himself, but I don't see how that can happen. But yeah, Marcy is so quick right now, considering his tyres. He is so quick. Really impressive stuff from Marcy. The fact that he's still going as strong as he is. And Harry F. Yeah. I just want to say Harry F. now out of Slumpcon's DRS, thanks to Jav.
Yeah, Jav just disrupting that duo, was a duo just a little bit earlier on in this race. Harry F trying to follow through with Slumpcon, but those hards and the mediums the hard versus the medium not exactly doing too well for Harry F at this time. And as I said, that's Slumpcon picking up a 3-second time penalty, so Harry F brought right back into that third position, second net with the penalties. Marcy, as we mentioned, still up at the front of the field. He's lost 0.3 of a second to Energetics on this lap alone, so Marcy may be looking to make a pit stop here very soon, and he'll be headed on to the medium tires. Should be on to the medium tires unless he wants to do another 16-lap soft stint, but that would get him disqualified anyways for not changing compound. Jav still in P5, 3.4 seconds in a lap. He's lost to the two drivers in front of him. Emperor Rub picking up a 3-second time penalty there in front of Axel and Bell and his teammate, 2.7 seconds behind there. Jess, who put the hards on 7 laps ago, is in P12, 10.3 seconds, with Ben Scott closing her down, who's been, I think this is his third set of soft tires in this race.
Yeah, I was having a thought there. The unfortunate thing for Marcy in this race which he would have wished he could have done a few more laps, is he's going to come out behind Emperor and Bellon, and we've seen they've been squabbling a lot today with the various drivers around them. And he's going to have to get past Emperor and Bellon, obviously, because they've both pitted. So that's going to cause... Actually, no, they haven't pitted. Emperor and Bellon still haven't pitted, which is going to cause a massive pain for Marcy, who's come out right behind Bellon. He's got to clear him, then he's got to clear Emperor. That's a pain for Marcy.
I would just like to say now, comment, that Jav came into the pits on end of lap 16, got a wing change, and put on a set of soft tires.
I respect it. He's seen how far Marcy's gone, so he's thinking, if he can do that, I can do that. So, fair play to Jav. And obviously that was where his pace went, wasn't it? That's why he was so slow. He had that wing change. We couldn't see any damage, could we? But
good Codemasters.
Yeah. I mean, they need to animate more stages of wing decay for us to see, to help us commentators out. But we have now got very big field spread. Let's switch to interval. We've got Alex Lilliart and Swip, I think, about to swap places in the DRS straight. Otherwise, it's just Marcy's progress that we're keeping an eye on, because a lot of the battles are very, very spread out. The two McLarens actually trading places down towards Ravazza, but here comes Swip, passing Alex towards turn 1. No problems there, no concerns for Swip. He's safely through, and he's up into P5.
Yeah, Swip making a good move there on Alex, and will be able to continue on with his race in that Aston Martin. Marcy making his way past Bellon there. Bellon tried to defend it with all the ERS that he could use, and Marcy using a little bit more, and also having the advantage of DRS to assist him in his pursuit of the Alfa Romeo. He has one more in front of him before he clears these two cars, and will have a pretty decently sized gap up to Axel, which I'm sure he'll be able to close down. Axel, 13-lap-old medium tires as of right now. Marcy obviously just pitted this lap as Jav, with that new wing and those new tires, picks up a 3-second time penalty behind Jess Games.
I just want to put in a bookmark at this point and say, Marcy, 11 laps pressure tyres, 22.3 seconds to energetic. That's the gap he has to pull, and he has 15 laps to do it, including this one. His Emperor just runs clean out wide at the end of Variant. No respect for track limits. And is Marcy going to send this into Ravazza 1? I think he's about to. No, he's not. He's going to back off and wait for turn 1. But he can't afford to get stuck behind, because he already lost 4/10 there following Emperor through the chicane. Oh, and nearly in the back of him. Emperor all out of shape through Ravazza 1, then Ravazza 2. I think Marcy's finally going to get this done. And Emperor, unlike Bellon, not fighting it with his ERS. Marcy's through. Let's have a look on the gap. 22.9 then. 22.9 seconds to energetics with 11 laps pressure tyres. Packer, can he do it, or will he not need to? Will energetics come in for a set of softs?
I'm not entirely sure. You know, Division 5 can always throw up all the shakes and surprises, if you will. Energetics obviously leading from Slumcon 2.3 seconds, but Slumcon with that 3-second time penalty, so it's technically Harry F. who's in second place, but only a few tenths separate those two, even with the time penalty. Ghost Recon in fourth place just picked up a second or a third 3-second time penalty, a second 3-second time penalty, so that will equate to 6. I could do math sometimes, folks. Swip in P5 is currently 2.5 seconds behind Ghost, and then Alex Lilliart, who started on the hards. That safety car really brought him back into this race. P6 and looking to complete that one-stop strategy and possibly finish inside the top 10, which would be a very good result considering where he started. Rike picks up a 3-second time penalty down in P16. Unfortunate, it's not really going to help him. Axel, 5 seconds behind Alex, and then Marcy, who's just about to overtake Alex for that P7 on track. Marcy with no pens is making his way up in the field right now.
Yeah, I'm very much on Marcy watching here. Gap's 21.9, but he needs well over a second a lap, 13 laps to go, 21 seconds. I don't think Marcy's going to catch energetics of his own pace, quick though he might be, as he was on the old soft, so I think he needs some help from further down the field. Jav passes Jamie into Tamburello. Not too many battles too close on track. I think it is very going to be a case of watching Marcy's assault through the field. First up is going to be Alex, who's Alex Lilliart just ahead, then Swip, then Ghost Recon. Harry F is some way clear. Be interesting to see, actually, do you not think, if Harry F on his hards if Energetics and Slumpcon start to come towards him, they're on mediums, 13 laps already. Do you think it will come towards the hards in the next 12 laps, or do you think the mediums will retain their advantage between now and the end of the race? Sorry, Ben Scott passing Bellon on the exit of Variante Alto, and Bellon's going to go back through. That was an illegal overtake for Ben Scott because he's just let Bellon go. Sorry, Packer. Oh, sorry, Ben. I'm going to cut myself off again. Ben Scott back through into Ravazza 2.
Yeah, I believe Ben Scott making the overtake there, then realizing that he won't get DRS as Bellon will come into the pit lane anyway, so that fight a little bit unnecessary, unless he did obviously have that illegal overtake. Ben Scott should be into the pit lane before the end of the race, I would imagine. 9 laps already on those soft tires, as Alex and Energetics picking up 3-second time penalties here, so Energetics and Slumpcon equal up at the front of the race. There's a Red Bull splitting all those. Slumpcon, what? Or wait, no. Who's that Red Bull? That's Energetics. Wait, Slumpcon? Excuse me. I did not think Slumpcon was that close to Energetics. 1.5 seconds separates the top two. Both the 3-second time penalties now. Harry F in third place, 3.6 seconds behind the top two without a time penalty. So those mediums, they die off for a little bit as Slumpcon not even going to get to the cliff, or not even going to take the chance. He's into the pit lane for what I would imagine is a fresh set of soft tires. A little bit late on the pit window, but is in anyways.
I think that's an indicator that perhaps these medium guys are going to go for a 2-stop, and if they do, Marcy's going to benefit just like he did last week. Although Marcy didn't actually catch all that much on this lap. He's run out of airs completely, as he did in the first stint. Energetic gets a penalty for speeding the pit lane. Marcy isn't catching as much as he was. He get it down to about 20.8, and now it's gone back up to 21.2. And if Energetics were to pit now, it'd only be less than 6 seconds behind Marcy on fresh softs, and it would be interesting to see if he can close that up. We've got a crash at the back. Bellon. Is that going to be a safety car? Is that going to change the face of this race?
Safety car.
And it is. And Energetics is close to pit entry. I think we're going to see everybody come into softs now. And how do you like your luck if you are Slumpcon?
I think someone has definitely hexed his race here tonight. Not sure entirely who it was. It might have been Marcy, but Marcy was already in a pretty decent position, was looking to make up positions, but that safety car has, well, really brought him not necessarily back into the race, but further into this race, because people in front of him have penalties. The only driver in front of him who doesn't have a penalty is Swip and Harry F. So, yeah, Harry F at second place now because of Slumpcon's pit lane adventure. Marcy taking the decision to stay out here, and he's not even going to get the lead.
It's going to be so close. Oh my word.
He doesn't get the lead.
I respect the effort, but unlucky for Marcy. Slumpcon still hangs on to third. So in fact it didn't hurt him too much. Harry F is fourth. Ghost Recon's fifth. I tell you, this does really help is Ben Scott. The only trouble is he's had to switch to mediums because Ben Scott was going to have to pit again anyway because he'd gone soft. So he had no choice but to pit again at some point, which would have cost him 25 seconds. So the fact that he's been able to pit and only lose no places actually has done him a great favour. And he's on mediums, but you know, there's no reason why he can't make the most of that. So our net leader is Marcy on penalties. Harry F is second. Swip will be third, but we'll check in quickly with the penalty situation. Really, that's 5 seconds. I'm not sure if that's for speeding or it's for contact. I think it's for speeding, so that won't be removed. Ghost Recon has 6 seconds, so he'll drop well down. Slumpcon 3, Energetics 3. So it is Marcy, Harry F, and Swip for now.
Yeah, good races from those three. Able to keep it penalty free for at least 22 point however many laps we have completed here in Imola. Riordan and Marcy, the only two to stay out on a set of the medium tires, the only two drivers period to stay out. 5-lap-old medium tires for Marcy, so not necessarily too old, but those soft tires are going to be far superior when it does get time to get this race back under green flag conditions. Riordan, I would imagine, also is going to be one who will be trying to conserve his ERS or be burning all of it right away, just trying to defend his position and eventually fall down the order. Another safety car, though, like we saw in Division 1, that shook up the field quite a bit right at the end. A few incidents, people with penalties dropping down the order, and we might just see a different winner here tonight. Marcy, though, it's going to be tough for him to get back up to the front here. I think Harry F. honestly has the best shot at winning this, if not Energetics.
Well, he's interesting because Marcy's tyres won't be that much slower after a couple of laps. So I just assume, well, then the softs don't drop off too much. We saw that with Marcy in the first stint, so scratch that. Yeah, Harry F's in a good position, but he needs to hope that, you know, Marcy or Energetics doesn't make a mistake and get cut out of the DRS. If he gets cut out of the DRS, he might struggle to stay within 3 seconds of Energetics. So he needs to make sure that the train stays as one. But I do agree with you. I think Harry F is in a very, very good shot here. But overtaking Marcy is not going to be easy, because if Marcy has DRS off the back of Energetics, Marcy knows if he just follows Energetics, it's going to be hard for Harry F to overtake him with the train. So, yeah, there's going to be some interesting employees at play here. I think Swip, not worth counting him out either, with no penalties. The two McLarens as well doing a good job with no pens. Because we've got quite a few. We've got 14 seconds for Emperor, 6 for Jav, 6 for Ben Scott, 3 for Axel, 6 for Alex Lilliard. And we are going to have safety car in this lap because Ivo and Rick here have caught up. There we go. So let's go back onto tyres so you can see who's on what, and we'll go on board with Energetics as we restart this race. And what has happened? What is Emperor doing at the back here? What on earth is Emperor doing? He's backed right off, and then he's dragged everyone back with him just to go fast again. I'm not on earth sure what Emperor was doing there. But we'll look back from Energetics as we restart the race. He's going to go the last possible minute. He's caught Marcy napping. Somehow, he left nothing to the imagination about when he was going to go. He went the last possible second, and it's Marcy and Slumpcon are going to be side by side all the way down to turn 1. Is Slumpcon going to send this around the outside on his fresh softs? He's going to have a go at it. Marcy just chops across the front of him, does what he needs to do, but it's giving Energetics a huge advantage. Ibo's spun, Emperor's gone round. Sorry, Ibo's got a penalty. Emperor had a mistake at turn 1, but perfect restart from Energetics. Marcy knew when he was going to go and still got caught napping.
Another driver here with a good start up at the beginning. We saw Ben Scott on the actual race start, and Energetics here with a good race start. The gap already over a second as we head through the middle sector. Rique has had a little bit of mistake there and has gone off at Toza. So Ibo falling off the back of the grid as well. Emperor getting a little bit of karma. Oh, Marcy almost having having a little bit of a moment there at Aqua Minerale. Lucky not to go around, but is able to keep it on the circuit with that with that correction to the left-hand side with his steering wheel. A few incidents in behind. Harry F has picked up a 3-second. Yeah, Harry F picking up a 3-second time penalty there at Varianta Alta. Slump and Marcy. Slump trying to around the outside. Marcy able to defend his position, but Marcy's used all the ERS, all his ERS deployment on this lap, so he's going to be a sitting duck here at the beginning. He's going to be right back. He's going to be right back on the button as soon as he has his deployment. But Slumpcon was able to get on his ERS button earlier. It's now going to be Mercedes to the inside. Haas to the outside. Slump breaks late, tries to keep it around the outside, but Marcy able to keep the inside line, and the racing line goes a little bit wide through 2 and 3, and Slumpcon is able to get the switchback, and now we head towards the Villeneuve chicane. It's even as we head into turn 4. They go side by side. They leave each other the room. Marcy a little bit of a slide. Slumpcon is going to be up in front with that natural grip of the soft tires. He's to the inside line. Marcy's going to be on the power earlier, but Slumpcon has the grip and the power to keep it in front.
Tremendous racing from all three that they didn't come to blows at any point there. Axel and Reardon are side by side through Piratella. Reardon just comes out on top, and Alex Liar's keeping a watching brief on that one as well. Slumpcon seems to have got a bit of a jump on Marcy, and look at Ghost Recon. Marcy's having to use everything out of Aqua Minerale to keep Ghost Recon behind from having to go into the Variante Alta. Ghost Recon's got the better tyres, of course, and he's so close on the exit there. He's going to get a run towards the last corner. Still going to be no DRS as they come down the main straight. But we'll see if Recon has a little lunge in. Rats one, no he does, and Harry F and Swip, you see in the background there, going really at it, and already again, Marcy's used all of his deploys. Emperor retires on track in the pause menu, and because he's used all his deploy, Marcy is a sitting duck on the straight. Ghost Recon goes straight through, but now Marcy can get back on the button, as you said last lap, Packer, and he's going to have another look back into turn 1, back into Tamburello. Is he going to break late? No, he's not. Ghost Recon has enough ahead in hand to cover him off, and I think that is that for those guys. Swip has come out on top behind. Harry F with his penalty has dropped back. Marcy and Swip need to really just get some good pace and get some good laps and get on it, because they've got a chance here to get a double podium between them. Energetics has made his 3-second window, and what are you looking at, Packer? What's happened there with Reardon?
Riordan's almost gone into the back of Harry F. and Toza had to get out of the corner, gone into the grass a little bit, lost 3 or 4 positions there to Axel, Alex, and Jav. And
another penalty for Ben Scott. I think that's his 3rd of the race. The pole sitter has not gone well, has it, for him since he made that first pit stop and went soft. So it was really downhill from there. Really long train from Harry F all the way back. Harry F is fallen well out of Swip's DRS. No chance of him getting back in since that penalty. He struggled. And look at Axel and Alex Lilliard nearly taking each other out on the kink down towards Ravazza. While Axel breaks very late, almost into the back of Harry, but it keeps him safe. And in fact, Jav pushed Alex Lilliard through the last corner there. Jav hit the back of him. Alex went nearly into a half spin through Ravazza too. Jav snuck through. I wonder if that will be referred to the stewards as Harry F and Axel not side by side. Sorry, and Alex is going to come back at Reardon. Well, Reardon's getting through on, and Jav's going to make a double overtake. I'm losing track here of who's where and who's making what kind of overtakes, because it's trading places all the time. Harry's fallen considerably out of it though, and he's going to lose another place here. Is Reardon going to try to go around the outside of Toza? He cuts back underneath him, gets a nice little run, has to back out of the throttle just enough. It gives Harry his breathing space. Alex Lilliard pulling out just spot his breaking point, not close enough for him, overtaking Reardon, then nearly sending back into the rear of Harry. And in fact, in doing so, he left himself very open yet again to Alex Lilliard and Aqua Minerali. Some really interesting, I say that liberally, lines being taken here, and Alex Lilliard and Reardon to go side by side into around house, and Reardon has to back out of that one, sensibly so. Ben Scott now fancying his chances, and he's gonna drag all the way down to Ravazza. And how late does Ben Scott fancy breaking here? What kind of mood is he in? He's in enough of a mood that he's going to allow Reardon the space and the decency to get through those last few corners. But Harry F could lose another, a load of corner places here, and he's coming into the pits. He must have had some kind of damage. 4 laps to go, Packer, and I'm going to take a breath.
Yeah, you go do that. Take a breath, indeed. Well, just looking up at the front of the field, Energetics, very close to getting a warning there at the Villeneuve chicane. Some following him through his Ghost Recon as well. It's a 1-3 for the Red Bull drivers as of right now, but I think Marcy is only going to be on that 3rd step of the podium because he hasn't quite found the pace to stick with those top 2 of Some and Energetics. He isn't quite close enough. Actually, no, he's within some kind of gap as well, I want to say. Yes, just barely within Slump's gap. He's quite clearly inside of Ghost Recon's gap, so only Energetics is safe up at the front of the field from Marcy. Swip in P5, followed by Jav, 1.5 seconds split the 2 Aston Martins. Jav on having quite the race for himself, and as I say, that 3-second time penalty for the Spaniard there in P6, possibly going to be falling down the order just a little bit. His 3rd time penalty of this race. So Axel will be gaining. Alex Lilliard with 3 seconds to his name as well. Riordan just on the back of him with Ben Scott on the back of the Ferrari as well. Alex, I think, has pulled out just enough of a gap through Ravazza to stay in front of Riordan here. Riordan not using his ERS, only using the DRS to close up to the Haas in front of him. And I think the gaps here in Division 5 have started to spread out just enough to where we aren't going to have quite crazy battles like we were having in the last 2 laps. Ben Scott and Jamie are all close together. Ben Scott is derating though as we head through this first sector. Alex very close to derating as well, just below that 20% ERS mark. But I think I think that's almost going to be a Swip though on the back of Marcy. Marcy using all of his ERS. Swip doesn't have much to his name either. A Jav just around 9-10% as well as they head into Piratella. So the Aston Martins and the Mercedes of Marcy all struggling on ERS. Ghost Recon not too high either. 11% using out of Aqua Minerali to keep Marcy Marcy out of the DRS range. He was able to break it on this lap, whether from Ghost Recon's pace alone or Marcy just making mistakes. And as I say that, there's a 3-second time penalty for Marcy that will end his podium hopes for the time being.
And here's Swip going to have a look around the outside of Ravazza 1. Marcy leaves him space just enough, but neither of them have got any DRS, so it's going to come down to DRS only. I think that might have been enough for Marcy to lose DRS to the back of Ghost Recon, and it is nothing for Marcy to defend with here. No ERS, no DRS, and is Swip going to make this move done? I think he is. Marcy's not going to be close enough to try and fight that one back into turn 1. Has to back out of that, let that one go, try and hang on to some ERS and save it for next lap. In fact, Marcy just using any ERS he gets, any opportunity he can. The fact that Alex and Axel are next to each other on track is really upsetting my tongue, I do have to say. Congratulations to Jess Gamer in the P12. She's the only person without a penalty all race. Mighty impressive to see. She's 5 seconds behind Jamie. Hopefully she can get a couple of places or two. Harry F on those fresh sauces, back getting the fastest lap of the race. 16.4. Not at all an unrespectable time, albeit on brand new tyres. Reardon gets another penalty. Let's actually check in with the penalty so we can have some kind of idea how the order's going to shake out at the end of this race. 3 for Energetic, 6 for Slump and Ghost Recon, 3 for Swip, 3 for Marcy. So we could still yet... Oh, we got a Ferrari off the back. Reardon's gone. Agua Minerale as Jav gets his 4th penalty of the night. And ahead, Ben Scott is pushing hard on Alex Lilliart. We're too late in the day for a safety car of any sort, so unfortunate for Reardon that he's out of this race. Jess Gamer pushes her up in 11th, and Ben Scott hits the back of Alex Lilliart into Ravazza 1. I don't think he got damaged. It looked like a light tap, but Alex broke very, very, very early there, I should say. Marcy passes Swip back, as I said, into turn 1, or even before that, and Javs keeping a watching brief for both these guys. Ben Scott now doesn't get past Alex Lilliart towards turn 1 as well. We're on to the last lap of this race. Easy to lose sight of that with all the changing places and excitement that we've got going on. Jamie picks up his 2nd penalty. God knows how many seconds of penalties we've got accumulated in this race. It must be pushing a good 60 or 70 seconds worth. From the 14 drivers who are left, it's Joseph, Ocon, Bellon, Emperor and Reardon who are the ones who have retired this evening. But it's going to be Energetics who's safely out on top with a 2.4 second lead. And he's driven a very calm race. Let's have a check in with the position changes this race. Energetics up 1 from 2nd to 1st. He capitalised on Ben Scott's moments of madness with his strategy, and then that attempted overtake on the Alfa Romeo Variante Alta. Slumpcon is 2nd. Ghost Recon is 3rd. He's up 7. He's had another good race. Marcy in 4th. Swip is in 5th. Jav 6th, but he's going to punt with his penalties. Axel 7th. Ben Scott has recovered somewhat to 8th, but it's going to be Energetics who wins. Ghost Recon picks up a penalty on the last corner of the race. How's that going to affect things? Slumpcon is 2nd, Ghost Recon's 3rd, and it does allow Marcy and Swip to jump into 3rd and 4th. Axel is going to be 6th. Jav is 7th for now. Ben Scott is 8th. Jamie jumps ahead of him into P8. Ben Scott goes down to 9th. Alex Lilliart is 10th. Where's Jess Gamer going to be across the line? Does she get anything in the end? She goes up to 10th ahead of Alex. Rikia is going to be 12th, and then Ibo and Harry to round things out. So it's going to be Energetics who takes the win and the championship lead going into France next weekend. And a lovely drive it was too.
Yeah, a very good drive there for Energetics. Being in Division 4 last season, I got the opportunity to talk to him on a very early morning, this Monday, I believe. It was around 6 a.m. for me. I have no idea why I was up. Please don't ask. Got the opportunity to talk to him, said that he was expecting good things, or hoping for good things, and hoping to get back up in Division 4. So a good way to kick off his season, if you will. P2 on the grid, P1 out track, only 3 seconds to his name there. So we can run you through the order very, very quickly. Energetics will take first, mirroring a certain Dutchman in Formula 1. Slumpcon will take P2, mirroring a certain British driver in Formula 1. And then Marcy in P3 will take that final podium spot after looking to be the favorite after that safety car. Swip will take P4, Ghost Recon doing one for the Americans in P5. Axel will take P6, and then Jav in P7. And then we have Jamie, Ben Scott, Jess, Alex, and Rikia, the top 12, as in League of Europe, top 12, all score points. Ibbo, unfortunate to be out of the points as well as Harry F. He's not going to get that 1 point for the fastest lap as he was outside of the top 12. And then the drivers who did retire did not complete all 32 laps. Riordan, Emperor, Bellin, Akon Corrupt, and Joseph, our 19th driver.
Well, let's see. Paco, would you be okay to see if we can get some people in for some interviews?
Of course.
Of course. So, although I say that, we have had to restart, so we are running very over time. So, do you want to do interviews? We can do interviews if you like.
We shall give the drivers their opportunity to get their interview. It's
Yeah,
of course not their fault, so we shall still
all.
give them the opportunity.
Well, we're not waiting on any other divisions to start, so that does conclude. We are the last division finished. That does end round 1 of League of Europe in its entirety. We've got VRT Daniel, I believe, is leading in Division 1. Rudy leads Division 2. XLRJ leads Division 3. No idea who leads Division 4. And I've already forgotten who won Division 5. Energetics leads Division 5. And PC, I'll admit, I have no idea. But so that does conclude completely round 1 for League of Europe. Season 7 is very much underway, and we've got France to look forward to next week. I have no idea why we're starting the calendar with Emilia and France. I can only assume we're getting all the terrible tracks out of the way.
How dare you? I mean, I agree with Emilia, but Francis, it's chef's kiss.
France is nice. My problem with France is always you running out of ERS there down straight. It felt like a bit of an overtake sweatfest. But, nice wide track. You get some good wheel-to-wheel racing. I had a solid 2 laps of breathlessness in D3 last season in the commentary box for France. So it is a very entertaining track. And we've got our race winner with us. Energetics, just check before we chat that you are sharing your voice setting is set to share so that we can hear you on the stream.
I think, yeah.
Okay, good, fabulous. Well, first things first, congratulations. You've not just won the race, you are now leading the championship, with it being round 1. What do you make of that race?
The beginning part, it was a bit messy for me, because I didn't want to cause any incidents. And being in any instance in the first race in a new division for me, because I don't know anyone. And sorry to interrupt. I have Killer Bloom tempt. Why? Sorry. Oh, now he muted his phone. Sorry. And then I was like trying to not get many penalties and just drive my own race, what I did in practice. And it went well.
I think from this side, it felt like you drove a very, very clean race. When that safety car came out and you switched onto the softs, were you confident you could get it over the line, you could win that race, or were you worried about attacks from behind?
Yeah, I was worried about Marcy because he was on used mediums but without penalties, and I had a penalty at that moment. And I thought, okay, just go late on the exit of the safety car region and hope Connor can attack him and give me some space, but he had no pace on the mediums after all. They were dead.
Marcy used all of his errors very quickly. He was down to about 3 or 4% by the pit straight within a couple of laps. But Paco, do you have anything to ask for our race winner?
So after a pretty, I don't want to say dominant performance, but quite a good performance from yourself, especially you and Slumcon both coming down from Division 4 last season. Expecting any possible messages off of a certain Division 5 or Division 4 organizer?
I received some message in my DM about an incident in the race. He thought I shut the door, or you don't mean that, or?
Possible promotion is what I was.
Oh, yeah. I'm available for anything. Just it was a switch to later times, but in the end, it's better for me. But if I think I'm belong in Div 4 again, then I'm open for that.
Well, congratulations again on the win. If you do stay in Division 5, are you confident you can put together a title challenge that this can be the first of multiple race wins?
I hope so, but I noticed that there are a few drivers that had bad luck today, like Ben Scott and Marcy was quick as well on this set of mediums in the beginning or softs in the beginning. So I don't know what my pace is compared to those if they have a good race. I practice a lot. That's for sure.
I dare say Ben Scott's race wasn't bad luck. He had a moment of madness at the chicane where he got spun around and then picked up many penalties. So it wasn't necessarily bad luck. You just drove the better race from the front of the grid. Congratulations again. Thank you for joining us. I look forward to, hopefully you're back with us next week at France. Are you feeling confident for that one?
If I can make it, yes. I'm going to have dinner at my friend's, so I hope I'll be back. That's the positive side. Starting late, so you can have dinner early and then say bye. I'm going to race. So it's like 50-60% I can make it next race, and I love France. So.
Well, fingers crossed for you. We hope you're back. Packer, do you have anything to say before we finish off the stream?
No, I don't. I think, I do, but I'm gonna say I don't. I think overall it was quite the race here from Imola. Imola always seems to give us a pretty decent amount of action. I think we got that from Division 5, and it was quite the exciting event as we head into week number 2.
Yeah, it was a fun race. Lots of wheel-to-wheel racing, a bit of bumper cars as well, but we enjoyed it. Thank you all for everyone who tuned in. Apologies for the lateness and the restart and the stream broken in the middle. But hopefully next week we have no problems. But thank you all for tuning in, and me and Packer will be around, and we'll see you next week for round 2 of the League of Europe in Division 5. Back here at the same time, hopefully finishing a little earlier, and that will be at Circuit Paul Ricard at France. Thank you for tuning in, and good night.